Good morning, everyone. The part 3 of the lesson chemical bonding is the resonance structure, or we can say that resonance. The phenomena of resonance was put forward by Heisenberg to explain the properties of certain molecule. So the phenomena of resonance was put forward by Heisenberg to explain the properties of certain molecules. It is often observed that a single Lewis structure. Now we all are aware of the Lewis structure, that is the dot structure is also known as the Lewis structure. So the single Lewis structure is not adequate or is not enough for the representation of a molecule in agreement with its experimentally determined parameter. To illustrate this, consider a molecule of ozone. Now we have take an example of ozone to explain the phenomena of resonance. Now we all know very well that the formula of ozone is O3. Now if we draw the structure of the resonance, so the structure is O3 means 3 oxygen atom are present here in case of the ozone. So this one and this one, this is the structure of the ozone. Now in this case each oxygen atom has an octet of electron. Each oxygen atom has an octet of electron, and according to this structure there is one single bond. This one is the single bond in between the oxygen atom, and one double bond, that is in between this and this oxygen atom. This is a double bond and this is a single bond. So the normal O single bond O, the normal O single bond O and O double bond O. Now this OO is connected with a single bond and these two oxygen atom are connected with a double bond. So the normal OO single bond and oxygen double bond length are, that is, this one is 148 picometer. This length is 148 picometer and this length is 121 picometer. Now according to the above structure which we have drawn here, this structure, so according to this structure we would expect the two bond length in ozone molecule to be unequal. The one is of 148 picometer and the second one is of 121 picometer. So these two bond lengths are unequal, but experimentally it is observed that when we observe this structure with the help of an experiment, so experimentally it is observed that both the bond lengths are equal, and that is 128 picometer. When we get this bond length, when we observe this structure experimentally and both the bonds are intermediate between single bond and double bond. So these two bonds are, here I am representing this is the single bond and this one is the double bond. But when we done the experiment with the structure of the ozone, so it is observed that the bond length, both the bond lengths are same, that is 128 picometer, and in between both the oxygen atom, this one and this one and this one and this one, the bond is in between the single bond or single and the double bond. So this means that the above structure does not account for the observed experimental fact. So to solve this problem, an alternative structure may be drawn. To solve this problem, an alternative structure to be drawn. So for that, this one is the double bond and this is the single bond. Now we have two structure of the ozone. Here the double bond is present here, and in this case the double bond is with this oxygen atom and single bond with these two oxygen atom. So it is proposed that the actual structure of the ozone is in between these two structure. The actual structure, these two are not actual structure, but the actual structure of the ozone is in between these two structure, and in such a case we say that actual structure is the resonance hybrid. The actual structure which is present in between these two structure is the resonance hybrid of these two structure. So the individual structure are called resonance structure or the contributing structure. The individual structure are called resonance structure or the contributing structure. Now as we say that the actual structure is in between these two structure. Now in between these two structure we have placed a double headed arrow. So the actual structure is the, or we can say that this one and this one. The actual structure is O. This one is oxygen atom, this one is oxygen atom, and we have placed the, this is the dotted line. We have placed here a dotted line. Now this is 128 picometer and this one is also 128 picometer. Sorry. Now this structure is called resonance. This structure is called resonance hybrid. This structure is called resonance hybrid and this structure is in between these two structure, and the resonance is represented by a double headed arrow. Now this one distance is 128 and this one is also 128, but when we observe these two structure, the single bond possesses the 148 picometer and double bond possesses the 121 picometer, and this whole phenomena is known as the resonance. Now the resonance may be defined as when a molecule cannot be represented by a single structure. When a molecule cannot be represented by a single structure, maybe by this structure or this structure. These two are the identical structure. So when a molecule cannot be represented by a single structure, but its characteristic properties can be described by two or more structure, two or more than two structure, then the actual structure is said to be resonance hybrid of these structure. This is the actual structure and this is known as the resonance hybrid of these structure, and this whole phenomena is known as the resonance, and this is also called the resonating structure. Now the next heading is the conditions. Now we have to discuss the conditions for writing resonance structures. Conditions for writing resonance structure. Now there are some important or essential conditions for writing the resonance structure. So let us discuss one by one. The first is the contributing structures should have same atomic position. These two are the contributing structure. So they should have the same atomic position. This is the first condition. Now the second condition is the contributing structure should have the same number of unpaired electron. These two are the contributing structure. So they should have the same number of unpaired electrons. Now here in this oxygen atom there are two unpaired electrons. Now the meaning of unpaired electron means those electrons which do not take part in bonding. They are known as the unpaired electron. Now in this single bonded oxygen atom we have the 6 unpaired electron. Here again it will be same on both the case. Here the 6, again here the 6, here 2, here 2, and here 1, 2, 3, 4. Same here 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of the electrons and which electron, unpaired electron, should be same. Now the third point is the contributing structure. These two are the contributing structures. So the contributing structures should have nearly same energy. So these are the important conditions for writing the resonance structure. Now let us talk about that is resonance energy. Resonance energy. Resonance energy is the next topic. So it is a difference. Resonance energy is the difference between the actual bond energy of the molecule and that of the most stable of the resonating structure. So there is a formula for the resonance energy, that is the resonance energy is equal to, if you want to find out the resonance energy, that is actual bond energy minus energy of the most, this is the energy of the most stable of resonating structure. Energy of the most stable of the resonating and that is the structure. So it is a difference between these two. So by this formula we can easily find out the resonance energy. Now the next topic is the polarity of bond. The existence of 100% ionic bond or a covalent bond represented by an ideal situation. However, in reality, no bond is completely covalent or completely ionic. Even in the case of the covalent bond between the two hydrogen atoms, there is some ionic character. It means that no bond we have is completely covalent or completely ionic. So when a covalent bond is formed, we know that covalent bond is formed by the sharing of the electron. So when a covalent bond is formed between the two similar atoms, the shared pair of electron is equally attracted by the two atom. For example, H2. So H2 means this is the one electron from this hydrogen atom and this electron is from this hydrogen atom. So they are equally in between the two hydrogen atom and these two are equally attracted by, these pair of electron is equally attracted by the two atom. So as a result of this, the electron pair is situated exactly in between the two identical nuclei. For example, if we are talking about the another homoatomic molecule, that is the Cl2. So in between the Cl2, this one is the 1 Cl and this is the another chlorine atom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one is 7, and this one is 7 from this chlorine atom. So this electron pair is present in between. It is located in between the two chlorine atom. Now these two, that is the H2 and Cl2. The bond is the bond between the H2 and the Cl2, or H2 and the Cl2 molecule, shows the example of the non-polar covalent bond. These are the covalent bond, but they are the non-polar covalent bond. Why they are called the non-polar covalent bond? Because the electron pair which is take part in the sharing, it is equally distributed in between the two atom, or it is situated at the center of the two atoms. But on the other hand, if the atom forming bond are different, the electron attracting power of the two atom in the bond may vary. Now, for example, the bond is formed between the hydrogen and chlorine. So let us take the example of H and the Cl. Now, one electron is from the H and another electron is from the Cl. Now, what exactly happen if we compare the electronegativity of the hydrogen and the chlorine? So it is clear that the chlorine is more electronegative in comparison to the hydrogen, and we all know very well that electronegativity is the tendency, or it is the property, or it is the tendency to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. So among the hydrogen and chlorine, the chlorine is more electronegative, so it tries to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. Now, the shared pair of electron is attracted towards the chlorine atom. It is not situated at the center. Now, it is attracted towards the chlorine atom. Now, when it is attracted by the chlorine atom, so it acquires the partial positive charge, and as the electrons are attracted towards the Cl, so it acquires the partial negative charge, and such type of bond is known as the polar bond. Such type of bond is known as the polar covalent bond, and such type of a compound are known as the polar compound or the polar molecule. Now this is the polarity of the bond. How it arises? When the electron pair is shared in between the two different atoms, in which one is more electronegative in comparison to the other. So the atom which is more electronegative, it attracts the shared pair of electron towards itself, and due to this, the partial positive charge, or we can say the positive charge, is arise on the hydrogen atom, and the slightly negative charge. Why negative charge is arise here? Because it attracts the electron. Electron carries the negative charge, and the slightly negative charge is arise on the chlorine, and these are represented by these slight negative charge. Slight negative charge is represented by this one sign. This is, and these are the delta. This is the delta, and this one is the partial positive charge. It is a slight positive charge, and this one is the slight negative charge. And these terms are, these are the delta. This is delta negative, and this one is the delta positive. And such molecule having the two oppositely charged poles, such molecule having the two oppositely charged pole are called the polar molecule, and the bond is said to be the polar covalent bond, and this bond is said to be the polar covalent bond. and the magnitude of the electronegativity difference reflects the degree of polarity. It means that greater the difference in the electronegativities of the atom forming the bond, greater will be the charge separation. Greater will be the charge separation, and hence greater will be the polarity of the bond. So the polarity is depend upon the separation of the charge, and this is called the polarity of bond. Now, as a result of polarization, the molecule possesses dipole moment. Dipole moment. As a result of polarization, the molecule possesses dipole moment. It is that in case of the polar molecules, the example of the polar molecule are H2, Cl2. So in case of the polar molecules, the center of the negative charge does not coincide with the center of the positive charge. Such molecules having two equal and opposite charges separated by a certain distance are said to be electric dipole. Now let us take the example of HCl. This is the here. These are the example of polar molecule, and in between hydrogen and chlorine there will be a polar covalent bond. So a molecule like HCl behaves like a dipole. It behaves like a dipole. Now here we are talking about dipole, means that is the one is the positive pole and another one is the negative pole. So this HCl behaves like a dipole since the molecule as a whole is electrically neutral. This one is electrically neutral. Why it is electrically neutral? Because this one is, it contain the positive charge and it contain the negative charge. So the negative charge is always equals to the positive charge. It means if we study this one, so it is a neutral molecule. The degree of the polarity in the molecule is expressed by the term called the dipole moment. So the dipole moment is defined as the product of the magnitude. The dipole moment is defined as the product of the magnitude of the charge and the distance of separation between the charges. Now here we are talking about these charges. One is the positive charge and another one is the negative charge. So the dipole moment is mathematically designated by this mu sign. This is the mu, and it is, that is charge. Charge is represented by Q and multiply by the distance, that is the distance of separation. Charge and the distance of the separation, or we can say that mu is equal to Q multiply T. Now this is the formula to find out the dipole moment. Here Q is the charge on any of the atom and D is the distance between the atom. D is the distance between the atom. We have already discussed that the covalent bond have some partial ionic characters and the ionic bond has also have some partial covalent character. So the partial covalent character of ionic bond was discussed by Fezans in terms of the rules, certain rules, and they are known as the Fezans rule. So the first rule is, the smaller the size of the cation, the larger is the size of the anion. The smaller is the size of the cation, so definitely the larger is the size of the anion, and we all know very well the cation is formed by the loss of the electron, and the anion is formed by the gaining of the electron. Now if any atom gain the electron, so definitely there will be increase in the shell, and if the shell is increased, so definitely the size will be increased. So smaller the size of the cation and the larger the size of the anion, so the greater the covalent character of the ionic of an ionic bond. If the condition is this one, so definitely greater the covalent character of the ionic bond. Now the second rule is, the greater the charge on the cation, the greater the charge on the cation, the greater the covalent character of the ionic bond. If the charge on the cation is higher in comparison to the anion, so definitely there will be greater the covalent character of the ionic bond. Now these are the important conditions, and next one is that is the electronic configuration of the cation. This is also another rule, electronic configuration of the cation. So the cation with the 18 electron shell configuration, cation with the 18 electron shell configuration, they are the inert gas configuration. If we are talking about the 18 electron shell configuration, means inert gas configuration. So it causes greater polarization, and then the cation with the 8 electron shell configuration with the same size and the charges, and this is due to the fact that in case of the 18 electron shell ion, there are 10d electrons. There are 10d electrons in addition to the 8s and p electrons. So this is the another important rule of the fission.